Hi! In this video I'll show you how to use XenaManager 3 to do auto-negotiation and link training testing when using our Z800 Freya test modules to generate 112GB PAM4 SerDes traffic. If you want to try this yourself, you can download XenaManager 3 from the Teledyne LaCroix website and use it connect to the Z800 Freya traffic generators in our live demo system. If you are familiar with the old XenaManager, you'll quickly see why XM3 is a big step forward. I'm going to start by reserving two ports. These two ports are connected through a cable. And I'm going to create a port tab for this port, and another one for this port. Then I can drag one of the ports over here so we can see both ports side by side. This top area is the dashboard for this port where you can reserve and see the port sync and the PCS lane lock status. You can also see any layer 2 traffic, and you can toggle TX laser output. And here in the middle, you can see the auto negotiation and link training controls. These two are for auto-restarting the ANLT process if the port loses sync, or if the port has link training failed. And if you have a loopback transceiver plugged into the cage, you can use these options for enabling how the auto-negotiation works. And at the bottom you can enable or disable the link training timeout. And to the right are the controls for turning auto-negotiation and link training on or off. And here are the indicators showing you the current status of the NLT and PMA pattern. So to do an auto-negotiation test, you go to the Layer 1 test features here and choose the auto-negotiation tab so you can see all the AN configuration options. You can see what the port will advertise to the other end, the technology abilities of the link partner, and the FEC capabilities and pause capabilities. Here you can test that the link partners can do a correct technology ability advertisement request and acknowledgement of the various parameters that can be advertised. Now let's look at the Link Training tab, where you can configure the out-of-sync preset that the port will load to its TX tabs. If you select IEEE, the port will load according to the IEEE standard. If you click Current, the port will keep the existing TX tab settings as the very first preset. By default, IEEE is selected. And to capture the Link Auto Negotiation Link Training Trace, you go to the Link Trace tab. Simply click the record button and the port will start pulling the ANLT messages from the port and show them here one by one. These messages will include what is actually transmitted on the wire, the TX and RX, plus the debug messages and state transition inside the port. So let's get started. As you can see, there are two modes for auto negotiation loopback, one named auto and the other called interactive. The difference is that in auto mode, the port will do the link training algorithm by itself. For example, it might start by requesting the other side to use PAM4 precoding, modulation, and then ask the other side to use a preset, and then maybe adjust a TX tap. And all of this is done automatically by the port until it is declared trained. However, if you choose interactive, you will have to do all those steps manually yourself. So you will have to do the modulation request, you will have to manually send a command to the other port to switch to a preset or to increment or decrement a tap or coefficient, and finally declare it trained. Remember, you can try all these different options yourself using our live demo system, but first, we're going to show how to do this using the auto mode. So firstly, you need to start recording or capturing the log before you begin the auto negotiation and link training. And when you see both ports are recording, then you're good to go. You hit the start button on the dashboard for both ports, and you will see the indicators are showing that auto negotiation and link training are on. And you will see a lot of messages appearing here. And you might have noticed that during ANLT process, we didn't have PCS lock, which is why the sync status was red. But now it's green, and that means ANLT process is finished, the port has regained PCS lock, and now it's in sync again. Let's quickly adjust the size of the panes so we can see the different messages that were sent. What we're interested in seeing is what was actually transmitted on the wire. The easy way to do that is to click the column called Type and select RX and TX. This will filter out the internal messages or state transition in the port, but typically most people are only interested in what was actually transmitted on the wire, which is what you get if you select these two. So let's do it here as well. Now, let's focus in on the port on the left. And I'll quickly make that window a bit bigger. So here you can see the very first message. It's an auto negotiation that we sent out at this time. And as soon as you click on that, you're going to see at the bottom of the screen all the details of that message, including the raw value in HEX and the interpretation of that. And then you're going to see link training messages. And each of them are showing if we have the lock, is the train declared, and so on. You can also see all lanes are here. You can use this filter to focus on one specific lane. And here we can check them one by one or use the arrow key to move up and down to see what happened. For example, this one is a transmitted link training, frames to the other side, and we can see the control, the status, what is received, what is sent again, what is received, and so on and so on. As you can see here, it's already switched to PAM4, in this one it's asking the other side to switch to PAM4, and then we get a reply back, and this keeps going and going and going. Of course, all the training algorithm is done by the port automatically. And when this happens, you're going to see the state switches from untrained to trained, and that marks the completion of lane training for this lane. So now we can stop recording. As you can see up here, auto negotiation and link training is still on. To completely shut down ANLT for each port, you need to deselect the enable EN, and also turn off allowing and loopback. Now let's hit these buttons again to commit the configuration. We can see these two indicators are all off, which means the port ANLT process is completely shut down. The reason we do this is if these two are left on and the port loses sync, for example, it will restart the ANLT process, which might interrupt other tests you are doing. And of course, you can save these log files by clicking the small floppy disk icon. And then you can always come back and load them back for analysis. The interactive mode lets you single step through the link training process and do one command at the time to see how the link partner responds and verify the DUT's response to the various requests. First, we will disable the LT timeout, select the interactive mode and enable the mode. We now have access to send the various link training messages to the link partner. We can select if the request should be sent on all SerDes lanes or a specific one. Send a request for modulation change, or an individual preset request, and decrease or increase the individual equalizer taps. Let's select SerDes 0 and C0 and send a request to increase the tab. We can now see that the link partner received the request. If we select C1 and send an increase request, we can see that the link partner receives the request and at the same time hits at limit. We can also see an overview of the various requests that have been sent on the various SerDes lanes and equalizer tabs. The signal integrity view shows the signal integrity on all the individual SerDes lanes, and the impact of the link training request is clear to see. If we now send a request to use preset 1 on SerDes 3, the signal integrity view shows how that impacts the signal on the SerDes lane. We now send a request to use preset 2 and can again see the signal integrity impact. We now send a request to use preset 4 and can again see the signal integrity impact. If we now change it to preset 1, you can see how the lane signal integrity improves. So that was a quick demonstration of how the XenaManager 3, which is the brand new version of XenaManager, handles ANLT in both auto and interactive modes with adjustment and tracelog capabilities. Remember that you can try it out yourself by downloading the XenaManager 3 software from Teledyne LaCroix's website and use it to connect to either your own Z800 Freya module or the ones on Xena's live demo system. You'll find links in the commentary below.